Recently, I saw a video on YouTube that really exposed the ignorance of Stephen Baldwin of the famous Baldwin brothers. He's sitting in a room with a bunch of clueless creationists in this video, and he poses the question, if we evolved from monkeys, then why are there still monkeys? There's no biologist on Earth that has ever claimed that humans have evolved from monkeys. Humans are closely related to the great apes, like gorillas and chimps, but humans did not evolve from the great apes either. Humans, gorillas, and chimps all share a common ancestor that lived more than 5 million years ago. Baldwin did not know this because Baldwin has never studied biology or anthropology, and only relies on common myths about these things that he has learned from his church, most likely. I read some of the comments posted below this video and came across one where the author stated, "I didn't come from a rock." I could only assume that the author was referring to the origin of life on Earth, and assumes that biologists believe that life originated from just dirt. But again, no biological claims that life arose from rocks or silicon exist. It is the Bible, though, that claims that human life originated from silicon when Adam was created from mud. There was a scientist in the 1950s by the name of Stanley Miller who displayed that amino acids will easily form in the laboratory by combining chemicals that were abundant on the Earth in its early atmosphere, among them being hydrogen, carbon, and water. Although silicon is the most abundant material on Earth, humans have no silicon in their bodies. For those who want to debate about science, I think it would be helpful to know what science is and understand the scientific method. One YouTube writer made a statement, "Science has proven the Earth is missing a day, just like the Bible says." He's talking about Joshua's longest day. Well, first of all, this is an impossible thing to do because there is no such thing as a benchmark date for the beginning of time on Earth. And then secondly, science is a process, not a single unified entity. So the scientific community is a huge community. And then third, scientists are not in the business of proving things. Scientists are in the business of making educated guesses called theories. And then lastly, it's wise to cite sources and methods whenever you're claiming that scientists have proven something. Otherwise, it looks like you just pulled it out of your rear end. For those who want to debate, it would be good to know what the logical fallacies are, and there are over 20 of them. So let's start with, I'm not going to do all 20, I'll just do a few that I see on the internet. Let's start with the fallacy of begging the question. That's when a person assumes that something is true without providing proof. This is what the famous William Lane Craig does in his Kalam cosmological argument. But one cannot conclude that there is a creator just because there was a Big Bang. It begs the question, and in this case the question is, who created the creator? But the Kalam argument also seems to create another paradox, because if the creator existed prior to the Big Bang, then the Big Bang could not be the beginning of everything. In short, the Kalam argument that anything that has a beginning must have a creator is a self-nullifying argument. A beginning cannot be a beginning if something existed prior to it. Therefore, in the immortal words of Baruch Spinoza, all things must necessarily be infinite. And therefore the Kalam argument becomes a fallacy. Another fallacy that I've come across on YouTube is the argumentum ad populum, which is to say that if a lot of people believe something, it must be true. At one time, a lot of people believed the earth was the center of the universe. Did that make it a truth? For example, one YouTube writer commented that billions of Christians agree on the creeds, and therefore this proves Christianity is the right religion. But in reality, absolutely nothing about that statement is correct. First, there are only a little over 1 billion Christians, and there are also over a billion Muslims, and Islam is the fastest growing religion on earth. Second, if Christians all agree on the same creeds, then why did the Pilgrims flee from England and sail to Massachusetts? Currently, there are hundreds of Christian sects, and I can tell you from my experience with Christianity, none of these sects, none of these denominations agree with each other. Probably the most used fallacy on YouTube is the ad hominem, which is attacking the person. You know, a person simply can't win an argument by put-downs and name-calling. I noticed Craig does this in a radio interview he's posted on YouTube, and he calls himself a doctor of philosophy. He attacks Dawkins and other atheist debaters personally in the interview by mocking them as ignorant. Other videos falsely attach the word militant to atheists and claim that atheism leads to totalitarianism, since Stalin was an atheist. This not only attacks a group of people falsely, it creates what they call a slippery slope, and that's another fallacy. Everything will be disastrous if people become atheists, and all of humanity will suffer for it. Another fallacy is called amphibole, or false analogy, by claiming that atheism leads to totalitarianism. This is not true. Most of the Nobel Peace Prize recipients were atheists. On the other hand, religion has been behind many totalitarian regimes, including Nazism. Please feel free to post your comments about this.